The name of our company is Nueva, guys.
We will be the biggest brand in the world. We will be the most innovative brand in the world. We will do things no one else has done before since I've been in the profession in 30 years.
My YouTube channel has been targeted by a multi-level marketing company called Nueva.
Copyright strike. Who is it? Nueva. John Melton? See you on the internet, my guy.
This is when multi-level marketing companies manipulate the system.
Hi, hello. Before we get into this video, I have a very important disclaimer to put out here, because despite how new Nueva is to the MLM space, they have truly been invoking the power of the Streisand effect down upon themselves. They have been copyright striking anyone and everyone who talks about them in a critical manner. We're talking YouTubers, Instagram content, what have you. But the thing is, Nueva, the more you try to hide something, the more effort the public is going to put into finding it. So when this video inevitably gets reported for copyright infringement, privacy violations, whatever, they're going to try it all. I just want whatever poor soul at YouTube who is going to be assigned the task of manually reviewing this video to know that I am taking all precautions to make sure that this video is in compliance with the fair use doctrine of US copyright law. I'm not re-uploading Nueva's original content, aka their Zoom calls that they allow literally anyone into if they ask. I am, however, going to be taking clips out of these Zoom calls and providing my own personal commentary, which will then transform the original content into a whole new piece of content. And the media that you're watching right now is not being made to replace Nueva's original content. As a matter of fact, my purpose is to make sure that the public knows just how sketchy Nueva is, alongside its founders and its future distributors. I want people to be able to make their own informed decision when they're approached with the opportunity to join Nueva. So my purpose is actually like the opposite of what Nueva is trying to do. Nueva is trying to get people to join what I personally believe, in my opinion, to be a scam, and my purpose is to convince you not to join. It's literally the opposite. So yes, this video will absolutely fall under fair use. And hey, Nueva, if you're going to copyright strike this video, first of all, that would be a blatant misuse and abuse of the YouTube copyright tool, and such misuse would fall under penalty of perjury. But as we all know, multi-level marketing companies have no ethics. We can't expect them to act ethically and honestly. They're going to try with all of their might to get this video taken down. But if you do go through with it and by some miracle on your end, you manage to get a strike placed upon my channel for this video, I will file that counter notification in which the copyright strike will be dropped within 10 days unless you fucking sue me. And quite frankly, I already know that you haven't sued the other people that you have been attacking, so I'm not expecting you to sue me, but even if you did, it's probably not a good look to already be getting into lawsuits with your critics. Really, creators and just the public alike, before you're even launched, before you even have a product. That's not a good look, but hey, you know what? Whatever, if that happens, you bet your entire ass that I will not shut up. I will only get louder. I will make more and more content about your company the more you mess with me and the more you mess with the anti-MLM movement. So it's probably a useless endeavor on your end to even try that shit. So if you want the anti-MLM movement to leave you alone, Nueva, maybe try operating ethically. But instead, they're choosing to operate under a business model that is notorious for causing people to lose money. That is not just my opinion. That is what the FTC says, the Federal Trade Commission of the United States. Like, that is not just me pulling stuff out of my butt. And also, this part is really, really important, but while we're making disclaimers, I know this is really long. Please stick with me. We have a lot to cover today, but this is so important, like, just to keep this content available for everyone to watch. We have to do this. But I would also like to let YouTube know that every single person I'll be featuring in this video is a public figure. They're all millionaires, and they've all earned that money by platforming themselves on social media and on big stages and network marketing events, podcasts, and other YouTube channels, and more. And they all have thousands of followers on social media. Many of them are self-proclaimed authors. Some of them offer coaching services. They've all spoken on stages at giant network network marketing events. And in the world of multi-level marketing, everyone featured here is practically a celebrity. So when one or all of them attack this video and claim that I'm invading their privacy, I want to reiterate that they are all public figures who present themselves online as such. So any privacy complaints made against this video would be a misuse of YouTube's privacy tool, again, under penalty of perjury. You're going to have my opinions sprinkled in a lot here. So yeah, don't take any of this as fact. By all means, go and do your own research from all different sources, whatever you want, but I am going to be stating a lot of opinions, so you shouldn't be taking this video on its face as fact, because I'm a mouthy bitch and I have a lot to say and I have a lot of opinions and they're going to come out in this video. Is that it? I think that's it. Have I said all I need to say? Yeah, I think so. So before we dive into it, please make sure you're liking and subscribing. I'm almost to 100,000 subscribers. I'm inching my way closer there, so any likes, shares, subscriptions, anything you can do to help me get there, I really appreciate it. So thank you for all that effort you guys are making to getting me there. So yeah, I appreciate you all. So anyway, Nueva, a new MLM company sprouting from the grave of Modere. So I have an entire video about Modere's downfall and the closure, which I'll have linked down below. I do recommend watching it beforehand if you haven't seen it, because it'll give some backstory to how Nueva came about. Long story short though, here are our main players, and there's kind of a lot, so hold on to your butts. First, we have Brian McMullen. This dude's an extremely influential name in the world of MLM. He supposedly has been the #1 earner of 5 different MLM companies. Since his time as a distributor in MLMs, he started investing all the money he made unethically, in my opinion. And now he has business interests all over the world, like handfuls of businesses. He's basically an MLM venture capitalist who just throws money at startup companies and pockets wads of cash from them. That's my own personal understanding. But side note, this little write-up on Brian says he's not a fan of the formal education system. What? I mean, I guess that much is made clear if you've ever heard this guy speak.
When I was 16, when I was 14, I got a job at Burger King. I failed all 4 years of high school.
So yeah, what a guy. And next we have John Melton. Now he was with Modere for something like a decade, and he may have even been involved in some upper level positions on their corporate board, I guess. He also allegedly was coordinating some bridge contracts to bring big teams from other MLM companies into Modere. I say allegedly on that because while I admittedly have no physical proof to show you to prove that he was doing that, I have it on good authority by my friend Aaron Bees that he is absolutely doing that. Oh, also, he has a wife named Nadia, whose name might pop up here and there. Then Tony and Sarah Zolecki. The Zoleckis were John Melton's uplines in Modere, and they may have also held some board positions and things like that, or they at the very least had some insider knowledge into what some of the inner workings of Modere were. Sarah Zolecki is also the cousin of Eric freaking Worre, so the unethical scammy MLM gene runs deep in their family.
What people might not know is we're cousins.
We look so much alike.
Exactly.
Josh Zweigel. Now, he owns and operates the MLM called My Daily Choice, and he's been doing that for years now. Which, by the way, side note, I found out that his wife Jenna was just removed from all of their business operations, which I hear through the grapevine that there may be trouble in paradise over there, but that's for another time. Rick and Michelle Teague. These guys were at the tippy top of Modere's compensation plan. Both have been involved in network marketing for decades, and they met through their involvement in Herbalife. Then we have Margie Aliprandi. This is yet another top Modere rep. She had been with Modere since it was still called New Ways, so we're talking like decades. She also does motivational speaking, and she's basically an MLM personal development guru. Finally, on my list of main players here, we have Michelle Barnes, who is yet another Modere top rep, and she claims that she was once running the #1 network marketing team ever. Like, we've never heard that before, huh? Weird. Now she describes herself as a speaker, coach, and author. She has an ebook, and she also sells her masterclass online for $50. Now, if you're going to sit here and try to tell me that these people are not public figures, you can lick my butt. That was vulgar. But come on, it's so obvious. Anyway, I know that's a lot of damn people, and if it seems messy, that's because it is. I don't think I've ever seen this many founders, quote unquote, in an MLM startup before. It's pretty bizarre, but anyway, how did this all come about? Well, as you know, Modere recently closed down, which left a good chunk of the people that I just got done explaining and describing to you. It left them without their cash cow company. John Melton got to work quickly, asking people to send him leaderboards of other MLM companies, demanding that they be science-backed, what a joke, and that they be a place where distributors can make real money, suggesting that Modere wasn't a place where you could actually do that, even though he spent 10 years or so with the company. But anyway, this request only stood for about 14 hours because the day following that status I just mentioned, he posted another one saying he was gonna open his own MLM. This led to a live Zoom call premiering literally 2 days later, where John appeared with basically all the main players I mentioned earlier, and in the Zoom call, they discussed how they all got together in the wake of Modere's closing to be like, hey guys, let's start our own MLM, yeah, all 7 of us ex-distributors with the help of a few outsiders, great idea. Brian McMullen was to be the one to fork up the funding for this new business venture, and Josh Zweigel was going to get them in with their digital infrastructure so that they could get a website and back office up and running relatively quickly.
This was not what I was looking forward to doing. About 8 years ago, I started buying companies. I've owned a few network marketing companies. I have the resources and the connections. I have massive amounts of contacts to open up countries super fast. Europe, Latin America, all over the world will be able to do business. We're not gonna sell it. We're not gonna do anything stupid. We're not gonna take loans and get into trouble. I said, I don't even need to make money from this. Let's just make some really amazing checks. And we'll also bring things that are new, that have never been done before, that you can't get anywhere else.
It is important to note here that Nueva did not have a product at this point. Actually, as I'm making this video, they still don't have a product, but they have at least talked about it now. But when this all happened, they had no idea what they were even going to be selling. They were basically just selling hype and excitement at this point, promising their audience that they were just going to be super successful and they're going to have all this fast growth because they were encouraging all these people to get in now, get in early, because as we should know by now, in the world of MLM, timing is everything. So if you get in early, your chances of being the one to shoot up to the top of the business structure is much higher because you would be one of the first ones in, recruiting everyone to be beneath you. I just think it's so bizarre that these people are just so willing to jump into a sales force, a network marketing company, without even knowing what the product is gonna be. They don't know if the product will work. They don't know what the price point will be. They don't know the compensation plan. All they know is, if I get in first, I'll make a lot of money. It's literally a cash grab, in my opinion. The very conception of Nueva already starts on unethical grounds, in my opinion. Of course, once the products actually do start showing up, you're gonna hear a bunch of people being like, oh wow, I'm selling it because I love it. I tried it and I fell in love with it and that's why I signed up. Like, girl, it's so life-changing. Sis, I'm a completely different person thanks to Nueva. I'm telling you right now that none of that is gonna be the case. We're going to hear it from all of these people, but it's not the case. The very first distributors joined Nueva without even knowing what they were going to be selling, period. Like, it's what we always say, that multi-level marketing companies have products, sure, but the products don't mean anything. It's ultimately meaningless. And in my opinion, I'm gonna be saying that so much during this freaking video, but anyway, the product is what I believe to be a loophole that MLMs use to skirt pyramid scheme allegations. Not always successfully. There have been plenty of multi-level marketing companies that have sold products that have been fined, shut down, what have you. Ask Herbalife how that went for them. LuLaRoe, Advocare. Those are just 3 I'm thinking of off the top of my head, but like, MLMs can have a product all they want, but that's not going to stop the FTC or other government agencies from investigating them, finding them to be what they truly are, in my opinion, and taking action against them. I always say, And I truly believe that all MLMs are pyramid schemes that have not been investigated and punished yet. And there's so many of them, you know, government agencies can't do individual investigations on each company like that. It takes a really long time. And I think a lot of people get really caught up in that. Like, why is it taking so long for this company to be shut down or what? You know, it's because it takes a lot of work. And quite frankly, the head of the FTC, probably along with a lot of other workers at the FTC, just got fired by you know who. So their workforce just got slashed. So at least for the next 4 years, we're probably going to have to deal with these people on a tremendous level. But anyway, back to the Zoom call. This is where we see Michelle Barnes show up and excitedly tell us that this new company would be called Nueva.
So the new company, it's inspired by a Spanish word, new, which obviously this is. The name of our company is Nueva, guys. But what that means is a new standard of wellness, wealth, mindset.
Yeah, it's a pretty goofy name for an MLM. So they had this short-lived moment of excitement, and then Nueva lost their goddamn minds. You know, I have been creating anti-MLM content on this YouTube channel for about 6 years or more at this point. This movement has grown tremendously, and we have gotten our slimy little fingers on so many Zoom calls. I'm just shocked that Nueva thought that they were going to be able to put out this Zoom call and not have us get a hold of it. Like, they were all in Modere. There's plenty of content out there about Modere. They know that we can get our hands on stuff. Like, they took zero precautions. So after this Zoom call, we saw plenty of anti-MLM creators jump onto the Nueva train. DC, say hello to DC, my friend, live streamed the Zoom call in its entirety as it was happening. And everything that we were learning about this brand new mystery MLM with 84 million founders was being blasted all over our social medias, and Nueva didn't like that. So the response was just to begin copyright striking every single creator who made any critical content about them. And I specify critical because I found this dude on YouTube. His name is Kevin. He goes by Kev's Guide, hashtag Coach Kev, and his YouTube banner claims to help you start and grow Jesus. That's a new one. Listen, I'm an idiot, and even I know that that's not proper English. So I'm not sure why anyone would take serious business and life advice from Kevin over here, but yeah, Nueva seems to be totally fine with a guy whose YouTube banner looks like this using their company Zoom calls for content. It's fine if Kevin does it, but if we do it, Anyway, these were not just simple copyright claims. These were full-on copyright strikes. Like a 3-strike and you're out kind of system is what YouTube has. It threatens the livelihood and mere existence of the YouTube channels who receive these copyright strikes. So getting hit with one of them is kind of a big deal. Among the victims of this absurd abuse of the YouTube copyright system were Julie Anderson, say hello to DC, Aaron Bees, and Vanessa Moon.
My YouTube channel has been targeted by a multi-level marketing company called Nueva. This is the company that has just suddenly arisen out of the detritus that is Modere. Modere shuts down, and then the people that were at the top of this company, they decide to start their own multi-level marketing company. They just cobble it together. I don't even think this thing is launched yet. It's not even in pre-launch yet. I made one video, and I've already received a copyright strike from YouTube. This is when multi-level marketing companies manipulate the system. I have an update for you. There are now 3 anti-MLM content creators who have had our content removed from YouTube and received a copyright strike. This is about the multi-level marketing company called Nueva. In my opinion, this is a flaming turkey of a pyramid scheme. First, there was Make Wellness that arise from the ashes of Modere, and now we've got Nueva. Somebody's feelings are pretty butthurt about us making all this content, and so far they've successfully managed to get our videos temporarily removed, but all of us are filing counter notifications. So the 3 creators so far, maybe there might be others. If you've made content on Nueva on YouTube, maybe you will be targeted next, but you have the anti-MLM community will have your back. So there's myself, Aaron Bees, and now Vanessa Moon has had our content taken down about Nueva.
My name is Tony Zolecki. I've been in the space now, 28 years.
Hi. My name is Julie Anderson, and I was in multi-level marketing for 5 years. Now I expose multi-level marketing pyramid schemes, much like the one that you're in right now called Nueva Global. Fun fact about your company is that you've chosen to target my YouTube channel And YouTube has issued me a copyright strike against a piece of commentary content. So this was a standard piece of commentary. You react to it. It was transformative. I am well within my rights of fair use and fair dealings. I use satire, parody, and education to transform the content. And I have appealed this. I have filed a counter notification. And I am letting everybody know how unethical this behavior is. I think if you want to, sell products or recruit people into this multi-level marketing company, that this behavior needs to be known to your potential participants, because this is going to chase away a lot of women who may have been thinking about buying whatever this product is going to be, bikini in a bottle. It's just not worth the cost. If they share a video link, a recruitment video, are they also going to be maybe threatened with a lawsuit? This is the unethical and predatory behavior that is evidenced by all multi-level marketing companies. Nueva is just another iteration of another sad company that died, which was called Modair.
Shout out to Aaron Bees for asking if I had checked my email today because #anxiety. I open it up, copyright strike. Who is it? Nueva. John Melton? See you on the internet, my guy.
DC shared a screenshot of the email that YouTube sent her regarding this strike, and of course I'm going to censor it here because YouTube. But as you can see, whoever filed these strikes on behalf of Nueva is obviously very professionally using a Gmail email account. I mean, no hate, like I use a Gmail account too, but I'm a YouTuber. This is supposedly going to be some global, like, mega company that's going to change the freaking world, and they had this amazing digital IT infrastructure provided by Josh Zwagel, and they couldn't even get an email address going. But did Nueva really think that that was going to silence their critics? Like, did they really think that we were just going to go into hiding and just roll over and die for them? No. Instead, for example, like DC will still cover Nueva Zoom calls, but she like has completely transformed them. She like made little GIFs and blurred their faces and like put squirrels behind them in their background. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. And as I was mentioning in the disclaimer here, just so you all know, this is something that I learned about recently because I was also dealing with a copyright strike from something unrelated to Nueva. And by the way, that copyright strike did get released because of the 10-day thing that I'm talking about here. Basically, if you get a copyright strike as a creator, YouTube gives you the option to then file a counter notification, and then that essentially starts a timer where YouTube is like, all right, whoever the copyright holder is, you now have 10 days to file actual legal proceedings against this YouTuber, and if you don't provide us with proof of that in the next 10 days, then we're going to reinstate the content, basically. So as of this moment, as I'm making this video, the original batch of creators that received these copyright strikes have had their videos reinstated, thankfully. However, they're not done because Nueva, unfortunately, the same day that those original videos got reinstated from the first strike, they went and did another strike on DC for another Nueva video that she made. So she's had more of her Nueva coverage removed temporarily. I'm sure it will be back in 10 days because I'm confident that Nueva is just full of a bunch of little bitches who are just throwing noodles at the wall to see what sticks. So DC is unfortunately left in another battle with Nueva for the next 10 days. It's not fair. It's bullshit. She even like blurred everyone's faces and stuff. That's like the one where she put squirrels in the background. Like, it's so absurd. But since the 10-day timer ran out with the first batch of creators, it's clear to me that Nueva has no grounds to stand on as far as copyright claim. I mean, we all knew that, right? What we're doing here is fair use, and they are abusing the copyright detection system here on YouTube. They're using it to their advantage just to kind of disrupt what anti-MLM is trying to do, which is just educate people. Yeah, there's just no ground to stand on as far as what their initial complaints are, because if they did have ground to stand on, they'd be suing us, but so far they're not. Again, probably would not be a good look for you if you did that, seeing as you're a brand new company who hasn't even launched products or anything yet. So, and then freaking Tony Zolecki went on a rant, sitting up there being like, oh, I don't care, it's free marketing. Thanks, haters.
Upset, frustrated that people take your content, take your videos, take your reels, take your lives, and they spin AI on it. They make you sound like something you're not. They cut things out, put things in. Does that bother you? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. And they're like, why? because I said, I got thick skin, like those rhinoceroses you see at the zoo. They got really thick skin. Nothing really bothers them. And that's how you got to be if you want to be successful in life and business, and just block the noise out. Because here's the thing, it's just free marketing. So thank you. I'll take all the leads. And 2, that doesn't define me. That doesn't define us. Our results do. I just want to go impact more people, change more lives, and help more people win every day in their life.
Like, he can say all that all he wants. The truth is, while it may or may not be Tony Zolecki himself issuing these copyright strikes, he is a co-founder of the company. Like, the company that he co-operates and has dual leadership in is out here attacking its critics. So they're certainly acting like they care. They are certainly acting like this is bothering them. The whole front they're putting up to be like, we don't care, free marketing for us, yay. No. We know you care. You would not be copyright striking YouTube creators for criticizing what you're doing here, justifiably so, in my opinion. You would not be doing that if you didn't care. If the free marketing was so important to you, then why are you getting those videos taken down for 10 days? Seriously? They're so stupid. I can't. But anyway, let's get back into Nueva and everything that we know about their pre-launch. Now, in the full original introductory Zoom call, which we only have the full copy that exists on DC's YouTube channel because the version of it that reps are sharing around is edited to shit. But in the original call, Brian McMullen was bragging about having connections to RFK Jr.'s doctor, which is obviously problematic in and of itself.
I also have really great relationships with amazing people, and not just people on this Zoom who you know, but I have amazing people with connections that are incredible. We have the connection to the doctor who works with RFK Jr.
RFK Jr. has only been the cause of over 80 measles-related deaths in Samoa by spreading dangerous anti-vax information, and then he went on to influence thousands of anti-vaxxers not to vaccinate their own children against measles in America, which led to at least 2 children's deaths because of measles in Texas. But hey, good idea. Yeah, let's trust that guy. But in this call, they also started going off about peptides, so we all kind of immediately assumed that, okay, so they're going to be selling peptides, which is also hilarious because Justin Prince went off before Modere closed. He got fired from Modere and then went on to start Make Wellness, who sells peptides. So it's just interesting that it's like a ex-Modere rep versus ex-Modere rep, like going head to head in the battle of whose peptides are better. But anyway, it does appear that peptides are going to be one of the many products that they plan to sell. But at the time, we had no idea how much stupider these people could get. One of DC's live streams bursts Nueva's secret product scheme wide open when she discovered one of the flagship products that they were actually going to be launching, despite their best efforts to hide what the product was. So please go show some love over to DC for this, because she really kicked ass and she deserves all the credit as far as figuring out all the details behind this specific product. Also, the video where she finds out about the product is the one I was telling you about earlier, where Nueva came back around and issued another takedown on DC's channel. Yeah, they don't want you to know what they're gonna be selling, so they did a strike on DC. But anyway, let's jump into that Zoom call. As you can see, the slides here have been censored to hide the name of the product. You can also see that it's supposedly hydrogen infused water, which the H in H2O is hydrogen. Water already is partially hydrogen, so I guess they're just infusing more hydrogen into it. I don't know, it makes no sense to me, but alright. The slide also claims that it uses nitric oxide production and it boosts L-citruline. So L-citruline is an amino acid found in watermelon, and our bodies make it on its own as well. Like, just go eat some watermelon, man. It's not that hard, and it's also probably way cheaper. And it's good for you, and it's delicious. All of the benefits of hydrogen-infused water that are listed on WebMD use language like, it may do this thing, and it might do that thing. Nothing on this page is like absolute, which suggests to me that it hasn't been researched much. So we get slide after slide after slide of the supposed benefits of this mystery product, essentially referring to it as a cure-all that can do all the things. Now, pay attention to the graphs in this PowerPoint. They're about to look very familiar. here. DC noticed that one of these slides mentioned Corpus Performance Sports Facility in Dallas, Texas. I guess whoever made this slideshow didn't think that their recruits would be smart enough to Google that, but DC did, and lo and behold,
We're live streaming right now, and we just found the product that they were trying to redact throughout their entire PowerPoint. You can already buy it. It's at www.h2bev.com. All of the graphs that are on the website match all the graphs that are in the PowerPoint.
yes, Hydroshot, a product that, if you only had Nueva's PowerPoint to go off of, you'd think that they were magically developing this for their own exclusive use. But the truth is, you can literally go to h2bev.com. Now, don't do it. I don't suggest that you do that, but you could go and you could buy a 12-pack of these tiny little cans for $40 freaking dollars.
That you can't get anywhere else.
A 12-pack of anything for $40 is expensive as hell. And H2Bev isn't even an MLM. So once Nueva gets their hands on it and starts marketing it and selling it, they're probably going to raise the price, because that's generally what MLMs do, because like you have to be able to raise the price point enough so that you're bringing in enough money to pay out all the absurd bonuses you're paying to the top 1%. But anyway, that'll be interesting to see how they navigate that. Hilariously enough though, DC did buy a pack of the lemon lime flavor, and she did a taste test with her dad, and it did not go well.
It kind of tastes like brake fluid.
I think we all know that Nueva distributors are going to be sipping on this all over their TikToks and their Facebooks and all their other social media, saying how delicious it is. And wow, this is so good and so good for me. Like, I think I'm going to take an anti-MLMer's word for this. Yeah, thanks. Because DC's not trying to make money off of this, but you are, Nueva distributor. You are trying to do that. So of course you're going to sit here and say, oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, I'm going to trust DC. Thanks though. Promotional material for Hydroshot claims that the product will improve your circulation, energy, muscle performance, cognitive function, and cellular health, as well as claiming to be able to treat traumatic brain injuries. No, I'm not kidding. Now, they do link a study which shows that they did, in fact, use the actual product Hydroshot in their experiments. Now, I'm a layman. I'm an idiot. I don't know what any of this stuff means on a scientific level. I don't really know how to read studies. I can read the abstract, though. But I guess what I'm saying is take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I'm stupid. I also found another study where they experimented with Hydroshot for COVID in 2020, suspiciously also conducted by 2 of the 3 scientists that conducted the study on Hydroshot's website. I say suspiciously because this suggests to me anyway, in my opinion, that there might be some kind of bias within these studies, but I can't say for sure. I just think it's odd that 2 of the same people are so dedicated to proving that Hydroshot is good for this and that. Like, to be that dedicated to proving the efficacy of one specific product is kind of like, gives me the side eye. If these 2 studies were done by like separate third parties or something, then maybe I would trust them a little bit more, but it's literally the same people doing this shit. They were trying to say it's a cure for COVID in 2020. Now they're trying to say it'll treat your traumatic brain injuries now. Like, I don't know. I don't trust it. It's the same people doing these studies, so you shouldn't trust it either, honestly. And I'll have both of those studies linked in this description below. I promise I won't forget to do it. Sometimes I know I forget to link things that I say I'm gonna link. I will have them linked. So maybe somebody who's smarter than me can look at them and tell me how legit they are. I don't know. But also, Healthline has an article about hydrogen water that says studies on hydrogen water are limited, but it also points out that small trials have shown promising results. So these 2 studies that I was just talking about likely were on small trial groups that were likely included in this small limited amount of research. However, Healthline also notes that hydrogen water is probably not worth the price you pay for the supposed benefits you're supposed to get. They also mention that there is some specific brand, they don't name the brand, but they say there is a brand that sells very expensive hydrogen water, and they suggest that you drink 3 cans of it per day. Now on H2Bev's website, they have have a 12-day challenge where you drink 1 can every day for 12 days. So I'm not talking about Hydroshot specifically here. However, knowing MLMs and how MLMs work, like let's take Prove It for example. They're shilling these freaking ketones left and right, and the distributors are drinking like multiple cans of, what is it, Keto Up or Keto Kick or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know. But they drink multiple cans of it per day, and that shit's expensive too. So I just foresee like someone being like, all I drink is Hydroshot. I don't know if they're going to rename it. I don't know if it's still going to be called Hydroshot when Nueva finally starts selling it, or if they're just going to scrap it all together because we already solved the mystery and now they're embarrassed, so maybe they won't even sell it at all at this point. But if they do, I just get the feeling that we're going to see at least like 1 or 2 of the tie-up reps who are making a lot of money and can afford to keep buying a shitload of this Hydroshot stuff. I can foresee it now. Like, all I drink now is Hydroshot. I don't even drink real water anymore. I just drink hydrogen water and wow, I feel amazing. Like, I see it happening. I drink 2 liters of it a day. Like, I seriously, just wait. But anyway, like, there's nothing stopping Nueva distributors from suggesting that, unless all of their packaging is very clear that says only drink 1 can per day. But I don't know why they would take any effort to stop that kind of advertising from happening, because it would be increasing sales and commissions if people are drinking more of it, you know? I personally believe that we're going to see distributors just chugging this shit and therefore spending a lot of money on it, on something that has very limited research. And while it, you know, again, Healthline says that some of the results are promising, we can't say for sure if it even fucking does anything. It needs more research before we can say any of that. So let's get into what we know about one other product that they're going to be selling. Introducing Slup 332. Well, they pronounce it Sloop, even though basic understanding of the English language would suggest it's pronounced Slup. But anyway, Sloop 332, a supposedly all-powerful peptide with the stupidest name ever.
What's up, bitches?
There's this woman, Brandy Sinodo, which Nueva keeps platforming as if she's some kind of medical expert, when from looking at her LinkedIn, you can see that she likely only has a 4-year degree, if any, and all of her other education just looks like naturopathic bullshit. She suggested that she no longer has to treat her lupus thanks to this god of peptides.
I went to my doctor and I was diagnosed with lupus. Then my doctor, who is a physician but is also a naturopathic doctor, said, we can continue going down the route of the diagnosis process, or we can get you on some stuff that could help you. And that's where it really started mattering for me. I had known about peptides before that, but I wasn't like a full-on bodybuilder. You find the thing you need when you need it. So in that moment, I needed peptides. So I took the therapies that he gave me, and it was the thing that started to transform my life. I am now not symptomatic of lupus. The inflammation is gone. The weight on my belly is shrunken, and I feel absolutely amazing.
Yeah, she's already making unfounded health claims on a product that hasn't even been made available yet. We don't even know if the product's been developed yet. It probably has been. It's probably just going to be another white label product, just like they're going to be doing with Hydroshot, allegedly. But it's just so unethical. But, you know, these people don't even have ethics at all. Go figure. I'm not surprised they're already doing this. So I guess what they're trying to do is to come out with an oral peptide featuring Sloop 332. Now, for the record, I found quite a few studies suggesting that it's difficult to develop an effective oral peptide because they degrade in stomach acid pretty easily, apparently. Science has been trying to develop an oral peptide for years, but my understanding is it's still a struggle. In this 2024 study I found, it says the gastrointestinal environment remains a challenge to this delivery path due to enzymatic degradation, low permeability, and weak absorption, leading to reduced delivery efficiency and poor clinical outcomes. Again, I am not a scientist. I'm not an expert in any field such as this, so I don't really understand studies like this, but in my brief research, it does sound like science is hopeful that it can be done, but right now, even medical professionals are opting for injectable peptides. So to suggest that some multi-level marketing company is going to white label some obscure product, allegedly what I think is going to happen anyway, and then they claim that they have somehow figured out what science hasn't yet. It's just such a scam, and I feel like it just really preys on vulnerable people who have chronic health concerns. So it's just sickening to me. So far, that's all we know about Nueva's upcoming product launches. However, they are saying that they're planning to have like an entire line of stuff. So they have plans to release more. Meanwhile, though, I just want to go over some of the absolute insanity that is going on in this Facebook group that I got into. It's called Social Retail, the New Wave. Now, I don't know whose team this used to be, but it very clearly used to be a Moder's team account that died off in 2020. So I don't know who it belonged to, but it's been repurposed into a Nueva group and it has over 60,000 members in it. So it's very obvious what they're doing here. There's more being added every single day, like hundreds of people. So that's why I'm not afraid to sit up here and be like, yep, I'm in this group, because they're not going to be able to find me. I'm not in there using my real name. So unless they kick everybody out, they're not going to be able to find the right person to kick out here. 60,000 members in this group, and they have the audacity to say that all of this information is private. Like, my ass. So far, there's 13 videos in this group, all basically long and exhausting Zoom calls where they're basically just selling hype. If you've ever sat through one MLM Zoom call, you know how mind-numbing they can be. So I sat through all of them so you don't have to. One particularly gross call comes from this woman. I believe her name is Julie Reynolds. I don't know who she is. I don't care. But it seems as though she's platforming herself up as a leader in the Nueva organization. And guys, this video is basically 16 minutes of her telling you how to recruit until your butt falls off.
I want you to make sure that every single day you're pouring into your personal development. And I'm going to give you my favorite books that you need to start reading right now so that you can hit the top of the company when Nueva officially opens its doors. I'm telling you, this book has made me multiple six figures. We're about to make a lot of money. The third favorite book that I love is The Energy Bus, because that is going to be key right now in order to mass recruit lots and lots and lots of people. We are all at the start of a company. So you can sit on the sidelines and be like, I'm going to wait and see how this all pans out. Or you can be running full throttle ahead with the right mindset, with the right excitement, and you are automatically going to be hitting the top of the company. Money is sexy, but in order to get money, you have to have this right here. How many people are you going to sign up when we can eventually start to sign up people? I want to know, what is your goal? I want to see it. I know what my goal is, and I'm going to do something even scarier. I'm going to 3x it. Casey says 1,000. Casey, I challenge you to do 3,000. 365 each year, Eloise says. Let's go, says Amanda. 100, Joanne. Joanne, I want you to make that 300. Susie, I want you to make that 300. Khalid says, I want to pay off our house. You guys, these things are all possible. People want what we have, and we don't even know what we have.
Now, this video was posted on April 17th, which is only 3 days after Nueva was officially announced in that first Zoom call. At this point, remember, they have not announced products at all. None of these people ultimately knew what they were going to be selling. They don't have a website, a back office, social media accounts, nothing. It was just hype and excitement. That's all this lady had to go off of. And Julie Reynolds here goes off for 16 minutes telling people, let me teach you how to recruit. You're gonna need to recruit. Then in this next video I'm going to show you guys, the spiritual and religious manipulation really takes flight here. Because, well, what's an MLM if you're not going to be preying on the naivety of religious people?
God has his hands all over this business.
You know, you go from disbelief to shock to anger to this to that. About 2 days later, we decided all to kind of do this on Sunday morning, which is interesting. That was Palm Sunday. And it started becoming very apparent to me that this company was supposed to be. And we couldn't get to this company without that happening. So it's almost like they were intertwined. Divine providence, that's the only way I can say it. The only explanation you can come up with is divine providence is right in the middle of this. And once again, this was meant to be. And this couldn't be without, you know, the other thing ending the way kind of it ended. And we were all kind of forced into action.
Rick Teague literally sits up here and suggests that God himself closed down Modere so they could start Nueva. Like, pfft, stupid. As a side note, Brian McMullen supposedly dropped $110,179.38 on a website domain name. I'm assuming it's nuevalife.com because that's their official website. That is a buttload of money for something that is not just nueva.com. Now, I've seen other people suggest that this price tag probably isn't just the domain. It might be other e-commerce infrastructure and IT stuff and back office, whatever, but still, they're trying to flex and be like, wow, look how serious we are. Like, okay, you spent 6 figures on a website and you think that's winning, but okay, go off. Meanwhile, their compensation plan just got leaked, and as many have said, within the Nueva organization here, that it's basically just a ripoff of what Modere had, because they're not even a thing, so we can steal it. It's ours now, who cares?
The comp plan of the former company worked.
The Modere compensation plan was really great. And so I said, hey, why don't we do that plan? Because it doesn't exist anymore.
I'm going to put the PowerPoint slides on the screen here just for shits and giggles if you want to pause and read them. I'm just petty, and John Melton was going off like, hey guys, please don't share this. It's confidential. Sharing it in full to 60,000 people is hardly confidential, but okay, John. Also, I screen recorded all of the comments coming in live, and they're just as culty and brainwashed as you'd expect. It really is sad. Like, all of these people legitimately think that they're going to change their lives with Nueva. They're naive, they're easily persuaded, and unable to think critically for themselves. They also clearly don't care about what they're actually going to be selling. They're just in it for the money, which is made abundantly clear by the fact that at least like 5,000 people at this point have actually signed up for Nueva, and this is all before they actually release a product. So I wouldn't trust any of these people as far as you can throw them. You may be asking yourself, how do we know that over 5,000 people have already signed up? Well, my friends, I mean, John Melton came out a few days ago saying there were 4,000, so I'm just at this point rounding up. But we also saw, I think it was the top 100 like personal recruiter leaderboards, and that is thanks to the hilarious troll campaign that anti-MLM's own Julie Anderson went on May 9th. It lasted for about 24 hours. It was probably the most excitement I think I've ever experienced during my time making anti-MLM content. Definitely go show Julie Anderson some love. I highly recommend her. She is hilarious. Like, she's a hoot and a half, and you should go subscribe to her. Follow her on Instagram. She posts a lot of like funny shorts and stuff too. Like, she's very funny. Basically, what happened is Nueva started what they're calling their pre-launch, but you know, when really this will probably be one of many pre-launches, as MLMs tend to do. That's why earlier I called it a pre-launch. MLM startups always do this shit. Nueva made it so you can sign up for free just by giving them your name, your email address, and your phone number. So basically, you can start building your team already before there's even anything to sell. And eventually, all of these people are gonna have to buy a starter kit once it's finally available. But for now, it's still free to sign up. But anyway, Julie Anderson took a leap of faith and decided to sign up for Nueva, and she then shared her personal link for others to sign up to be on her team, and little by little, Julie's audience decided to join her until finally it had gotten so much attention that the recruits started coming in waves.
Guys, oh my god, we're doing this. We're at 15 already. Look at this. I'm climbing the leaderboard. I inched along until I got past 99, and now look at this. Oh, 75! We're at 75, you guys. Capybara is on. Woo! 15 and climbing the ranks. Fuck you, Nueva!
Julie was rising through the ranks at light speed, surpassing our very own founders, utilizing a capybara as her profile picture.
We're up to 13th place. We blew past Margie. We've got 75 people. You're looking at the top Canadian in this pyramid scheme that has it's in some manner of pre-launch right now. And Michelle Barnes in 11th place also has a bead of sweat that she's just wiped from her forehead. 104! Look at this! Suck it, Michelle Barnes! Suck it! Look at this! 104. We are now in 11th place. We are at 243 enrolled, which means we are now in 4th place. That's right. We have blown by John Melton. Woo!
Here we go. 243!
This went on for about 24 hours before Nueva finally caught on and shut her down. But not before she made it to the number 3 top recruiter in Nueva, having recruited 301 people. Her replicated website and sign-up link is still up, but Julie says that they made it so if anyone signs up under her, it'll just get funneled into her uplines team, which is some lady named Michelle Dworak, which Julie also surpassed her on the leaderboards. While it was a short-lived troll, it was very exciting as it was happening, and I think Julie Anderson is the master of comedy for pulling this off. An anti-MLMer got to the top 3 spot of an MLM before it even launched, and I think that is a huge and hilarious achievement. So for now, that's basically all we know. If anything else crazy happens, I'll update you guys. But if you made it to the end of this video and you're actually serious about wanting to join any network marketing company, any MLM, but I mean specifically Nueva here, I'm just gonna sit here and implore you not to. Don't join Nueva, don't join any MLM for that matter, but I'm sure it looks very appealing to you. You got a new shiny, sparkling new MLM, ground floor opportunity, you know, that has been designed to appear that way to you. But just know these days, it's basically impossible to launch a new successful MLM. Those who have tried in the past few years have been quickly humbled, and they have not lasted very long at all. Do you remember Elamir? Most of my audience here, I would assume, remembers the yellow strip scam, but you just probably haven't heard that name for a while. So remember how insane that hype was? Like, it was popping off. Well, today, in the year of our Lord 2025, their website leads to a 404 error, and their Instagram hasn't been updated for a year, so I think it's safe to say that Elamir's dead, finally. And don't even get me started on the extremely short lifespans of, like, Transact Card and Finmore. MLMs are, in my very informed opinion, by the way, pyramid schemes that use their product as a loophole to operate legally. And usually what I've been noticing in my own experience covering this stuff for as long as I have, these startups generally just end up being like the final pump and dump and cash grab by the corporate overlords. Their only goal is to, in my opinion, milk you for as much money as possible by preying on your vulnerabilities, whether it's your health, your finances, or just like a desire for community. And then, you know, things will start dying down and they'll just take the bag and run, leaving you high and dry. So in my opinion, MLMs are scams, whether they have products or not. I mean, if they don't have a product, that wouldn't make them an MLM. I think that would just be like a straight up Ponzi scheme. But the market in general is so uncertain right now, it's probably irresponsible to start any small business right now. With a trade war going on in the United States and a looming inevitable recession, joining an MLM is not a good idea right now. Like, save your money, prepare yourself for financial distress because it's about to happen to all of us. Maybe I'm speaking out of my butt here, but based on what I'm observing going on in this country right now, like, I think we're screwed. But certainly the last thing you should be doing is joining an MLM. It's not a good idea. You should stay far away from them in general, but especially stay far away from Nueva. And that's all I have for you today, guys. So if you are still here, don't forget, if you haven't left a like, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Trying to get to 100,000, okay? We're almost there. And I just have to thank a few people real quick. So first of all, shout out to DC, Julie Anderson, Aaron Bees, Vanessa Moon, and anyone else who has been a victim of Nueva's false copyright scheme. It's just ridiculous. So please go show those creators some love. They absolutely deserve it. They're doing the Lord's work. Hopefully this video stays up. I think I've done enough work to really make it super duper obvious. We are just providing commentary on something that, in my opinion, is a scam. But quickly, I just want to thank my patrons and my members, guys. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server, early access to videos if I'm able to provide that, and sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/SavannahMarie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. They're both generally the same, just whatever platform you prefer is fine by me. So with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Emily Jean, Miss Blue, Hannah Moe, Alex Gollum, Love to Be Evil, AJC, Liz Sahu, Char City Gaming, Evan Adler, Kelsey Nicole, LaSalle Story, Fluffy Duckbutt 24 Elaine, Ferd Turgeson Esquire, Just Mark, Baby Pink Pearl, Alice Wagner, Fallon Harris, Jessica Billhart, Emion, Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Kessie Kelsey Drew, KJ Barnes, Leanne, Marie Silver, Caroline Reed, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, and Stephanie Mayfield. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter, just thanks for making it to the end of this video. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and doing all the things that you do for free around here. All of it just means the world to me. So don't join Nueva. I'll update you if there's any more shenanigans. Go show some love to all the other anti-MLM creators who are victims to Nueva. And with that, I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.